Where the hell is Spider-Cat? What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Wave Armadillo Build-A-Figure Series Gamerverse Spider-Man Miles Morales action figure review. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Y'all have no idea how ecstatic I am about having this figure. The Spider-Man Miles Morales game was my favorite game last year, so getting him in Legends form is an automatic attachment for me. There's only two minor things that I dislike, but I love everything else about this figure. So, let's talk about it. First off, this head sculpt is straight fire. I love the way it came out. The cobwebbing is sculpted, and it's painted nicely too, so I'm happy that the eye paint is perfect on mine. And I really like the way the eyes came out. The head shape is really good too. It's well proportionate. And I really like the subtle texture you get here in between the cobwebs. And it's in the logo here too. So you get that. And it looks really nice. So much detailed here. The only thing I don't like is this seam at the neck. I don't know why it's cut off. And it doesn't even line up with the webbing here in the center. So as you can see, there's one that comes up from the middle of the spider, and there should be one like traveling up right here, but it's not. I mean, it does line up with the rest of the webbing, as you can see on the back, but it's just that front neck part, it doesn't. And there's no hidden neck articulation there. I tested it out, and it's just an extra layered piece, so I don't know what's the reason behind this. Something I would like to ask the Marvel Legends team if I ever get to interview them. As you can see, I popped off the head, and there's some wiggle room with moving this ball joint, but you know, nothing drastic, nothing that, you know, changes the dynamic of the articulation. It's such a strange design choice. But look at the logo here, man. That looks crisp. The paint on it is so good too. And I really love the design here. You get the red on the shoulders. One thing I love about the game is that they kept his costume design as close to the traditional one. You know, just adding some more seams, some more layers and such. Just to give the look some more authenticity. And to make it make sense in their Marvel video game universe that Insomniac Games is building. But dude, look at the design here, man. They freaking nailed it. The sculpt here is absolutely phenomenal. As you can see, look at the spider logo. Nicely sculpted, nicely painted. And oh, man, it's just so good. So good that I even compared it to the Hot Toys. And this is how spot on they were with the line work. They got it. Like, look at this. The belt area. And going around there in the back, the spider logo, the arms, like, look at the design here next to the Hot Toys. Everything is spot on. And if I'm, you know, comparing this to a Hot Toys, they got the design right. That goes to show you that they really put their heart and soul towards this figure. Holy crap. I mean, detail-wise, the only thing this Legend doesn't have that the Hot Toys has is the sculpted web shooters. And the shoes are like, yeah, a little bit different because you got the tongue right here on top of the shoe. This one doesn't, to help with the ankle articulation, so I understand why they didn't go with that. It's just crazy to see how the sculpt matches the design from top to bottom. And you get some subtle texturing right there on the forearm as well as the bicep, you know, and you see the inner design and the arms right there. The hands came out really nice. I like that. He's all pinless too, so, you know, it just looks even smoother. Pinless legs. He's got the nice line work above the knee, and then some more nice subtle texturing at the calves. Some more seams behind the calves and on the side, and here are the kicks. But this zipper line should have been painted in silver. That's the only thing it's missing. But they did paint the red on the heel right here. Yeah, but nice texturing on them, and again, they went all out with this. Now for accessories, he comes with 2 closed fists, 2 web thwipping hands, 2 wall crawling hands, thank God, and 2 Venom shock effects that look so damn good too. I really like the way the electricity jumps off from the top of his hand. It is a separate piece, but you can't remove it. It's kind of fused in there. And if you want some electric effects to travel through his arms, you could use the storm effects. That's what I did for a photo shoot. So this looks freaking sweet. Kind of wish he had an electric effect that would attach to the torso. That would have been nice, like the Hot Toys. But I did manage a way to kind of make that work. I used one of the yellow lightning effects from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection because it's got a good spread to it. So what I did was just put his arms through these gaps, then put the hands back, and yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. You could, finagle it however you like, but this is just the way I did it. So yeah, just another option if you want to have some more fun with your Gamerverse Miles Morales. Then lastly, he comes with an unmasked head, and I gotta say, this does not match the likeness of the face model and voice actor Najee Jeter. The skin tone should be a little bit lighter, but even if it was, I still don't think the likeness would match. It could work as a good comic Miles head if you want. The only thing is, it doesn't work because it sits too low and it's too big and it just wobbles, so that's unfortunate. And this head is not included in the GameStop exclusive Camouflage version, so you can only get it with this figure. Speaking of that GameStop exclusive, as a special holiday treat, here's a bonus review of the GameStop exclusive Camouflage variant. I'm not going to waste your time and do a separate review of this when I can give it to you right here, right now. So let's go! So this Camouflage version is freaking cool. Same Miles figure, just in a translucent plastic, and you get some nice light blue paint applied throughout the figure, which looks really good. And yeah, you can see that seam is still there, and zooming in on it, you can see that there's no added articulation in there. Nothing. It's just an extra layer as is. So at least we know for sure there's nothing hidden underneath there at all. But yeah, the light blue paint apps on the figure is really nice. It's a little splotchy in some areas. So as you can see right here, you can see the spider logo decked out. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you bend the torso, it does split the sculpt up on the back of the spider logo. So forgot to show that off here. And as you can see, yeah, that's one bummer about that. But I don't think there's anything that really could have been done, especially since they were keeping up with all the texture and the rest of the line work. So the sculpt had to take a hit there. And more of that nice blue paint apps on the belt, the forearms. You can see he's wearing a Speedo underneath, huh? And here are the legs. I like how the light blue paint apps are on the knees. And one thing I really like about this figure is I like how it takes turns with the light plastic parts and the dark plastic parts. And then adding the blue paint on it just adds so much more to it. Definitely makes it pop. I'm a big fan of this blue, especially in the game when he turns camouflage. He has that blue hue, and it looks just like this. So, really neat. And the calves, and then the feet. They just did a really great job with this. For accessories, he's got the same hands. So, you got the fist. You got the web-flipping hands, you got the wall-crawling hands, and those Venom Electric Strike hands. And one thing I will note is that the Camouflage version comes with more solid-looking translucent hands, if that makes sense, because it's definitely a brighter yellow. So it's interesting to see how different they are. And it just looks great on this figure, the translucent yellow and the blue, it just really pops. And I like how the peg on this is seeping through, so it kind of like adds more aura to it. I don't know, something about it looks pretty neat. Ooh, this figure, I'm just so in love with it. Alright, to cover articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so it moves that far up, which is good. Moves that far down, left, right, has some great pivoting, and it rocks around. His arms only move about that far up, but kind of like the other Spider-Man, if you just move it back, and then shift it back up into place. And you can see it's a little bit higher now. You got the butterfly joint that moves that far forward and that far back. It moves down, rotates all around. You got the bicep swivel, great double jointed elbows, and you got a wrist swivel, wrist hinge. Ab crunch moves that far forward and that far back. You got the waist swivel, legs move that far apart, and it kicks up that high, kicks that far back. You got the legs that rock around, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and heel to the Puerto Rican butt. Yes! And you got his ankles that move up that far, down that low, and the ankles rock all around. Now to start off comparisons, here is our Gamerverse Spider-Man Miles Morales next to his comic book counterpart and Into the Spider-Verse animated movie version. And since Miles Morales is Puerto Rican and I'm Puerto Rican as well, here he is next to a Puerto Rican flag from the AEW Santana figure. And here he is next to a chancla. Can't forget that. Representation matters, don't tell me it doesn't. Here he is next to some other Gamerverse Spider-Man figures. We have the Mark III armor and velocity suit. Here he is next to the Spider-Man PS4 advanced suit. And wow, can you imagine what they'll do with an updated version after how they treated this Miles? We are bound to get one around the time the sequel comes out. It's gonna be awesome. Here are our Gamerverse Spider-Mans of Peter and Miles next to the movie Venom figure. Only reason why I brought this out is because we could possibly see this body again to be reused with a new head for the Gamerverse Venom. Possibly. Don't mark my words for it. We don't know how his physique will look as the trailer only gave us a shot of his face. We could get something entirely new. We will see, but just bringing up the possibility. Here he is next to his Camouflage version. Finally, here he is next to his fellow wave mate Shriek. Shriek review is on deck. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness. You know, if we're looking at just traditional 6-inch figures of this line, excluding Bafs, Deluxe, and all that, then this to me is the Marvel Legend of the year. Hasbro went up to bat with this and hit a grand slam. They threw a Hail Mary pass for a touchdown, a 3-point buzzer shot, you name it. This figure has victory spelled all over it as it's the winner of the wave. The costume sculpting details is mind-blowing and reminds me of the effort they put into another Gamerverse figure, and that's the Untitled Baf. Those two Gamerverse figures alone beats every MCU Legends figure in that category for their media properties. Accessories galore here with heads and hands as every Spider-Man figure should always guarantee to have. One can only imagine how much more could have been included if he didn't carry a Baf piece. Like Spider-Cat! Where the hell is he? Missed opportunity there. Hopefully he'll be offered with another Gamerverse Miles figure. Lots of options that cater to his power set, and when you have the Camouflage version, it just adds more fun factor goodness. Great articulation all around as his posability is very user friendly and you will find yourself posing him for hours on end. The proportions are spot on, and besides the unmasked head, everything else is 99% video game accurate. They really took this Gamerverse figure seriously. This, along with Venompool, are the best Gamerverse figures. This has top 10 in the bag already, and it is no doubt the best Spider-Man Legends figure of 2021. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Gamerverse Miles figure? It's time to get a full-blown dedicated Spider-Man Gamerverse wave. They can pick whoever from the games in the series, and I'm counting on it for next year or 2023 to coincide with the Spider-Man PS5 sequel. So comment your Gamerverse wave wishlist below and we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.